I'm going to show you the chess computer mode now, very quickly. How do you enter it? This is the main menu from the Phoenix, and you have now here the 4 modes: play against computer, which is the chess computer mode. You have the play retro chess, there you find all the emulations. You have play online, this is the direct connection to chess. And if you have the add-on package, Play Chess Connect, which allows you to enter the original websites from chess.com or chess directly from a chess computer. So we're taking a closer look now at Play Against Computer and what you can find here. You see, it takes a second until it loads. The bing signal, which you just heard, means that the computer is ready for play. The computer is recognizing that all the pieces are in the starting position, and that gives a new game command to the machine. So that means the computer is now ready for your moves and you could start immediately. Let's start with the screen layout. You have here the chessboard, so that corresponds what you can see here on the board. If I take away the rook, you will immediately see that the computer is complaining that the rook is away. When I put it there, he's recognizing the starting position, so new game. Okay, then we have here the clocks, the clock for white, the clock for black. In the middle, you see who is to move, so that is the white square, and the playing direction, so that means white is playing up the board. I quickly do a few moves now. The computer's answering, so we see something on the screen. Okay. So, we now get here the move list, the notation. We see here what type of opening we have. Let's make an irregular move so that he's getting out of the book. And then you see the main variant, and you see also the evaluation of the position. Beside these two things, you have the evaluation bar. This is an extremely practical feature because you can see on one glance how the position is rated by the machine. Now we see it is that the white and the black square bars are exactly in the middle. That means we have an extremely balanced position. If we lose, for example, a major piece, you will immediately see that the evaluation is changing. And if we, for example, make a blunder and the machine is seeing, okay, in 2 moves I can take that piece, you will see immediately that these evaluation bars changing. So that guy is a good indicator for you how your play is. Okay, then we have here on top the engine, which is just calculating, and this now it's just Layla which is set. We see here the level, so 15 minutes per game is set. We have the home screen, which brings us back to this top level. If I press it twice, I get out of the chess computer mode to the main menu. I can activate my Wi-Fi here, and down below I have the control buttons. Pref means it brings me 1 level up in the menu. So if I'm in one of the sub menus, I can press this button and get just 1 level up. If I press home, I get immediately out to this screen. The comfort menu I will show you it shows some predefined profiles. Profiles means a combination of settings for the display, for the engines, and so on. So that makes it very easy for you to change your settings. We have the mode button, where you can change, for example, from the play mode to the analyze mode to the 2-player mode to the position setup. I will show you that later on. Move is forcing the computer to execute a move. So when you want him to play with the white pieces and you have the starting position, press move and he will start. Or if you want to interrupt his calculations because you've set a very high level where it takes a long time, then you press this button as well. Hint gives the move suggestion from the computer for you. Back is the take back function. It's in the Phoenix, it is a mode. That means if you take a piece back, you can do this either on the board or with this button. The LED here will go on. I'm just activating the button. Now he's indicating you move by move to go back, exactly. And if you want to stop, you press the button and then you can start playing from there. When you just take a piece back on the board, you do exactly the same and activate the mode automatically. Just to go off the mode, you have to press the button here. Yeah, exactly. Now we see take back is activated. We take the second one back, stop the mode, and we are in calculation mode again. We have the chess settings. That means everything which is related to how the unit is calculating. And we have the system settings, everything which is not related to chess. Okay, let's take a deeper look at the evaluation bar. I told you already this is an extremely useful feature, and we have very nice, there's two things to note about this. Engines evaluate positions differently, especially in modern engines. When we will have a classical engine like Shredder 13.5, he is typically evaluating in pawns. So -1 means your position is 1 pawn weaker than the computer's position. However, we also have NNUE engines here inside, such as Lela, and those engines typically you do a different evaluation. They don't take the pawns, they take the chance, how high is your chance to win the game. So that can be
just
completely
show this
different
topic. I sacrifice the bishop, a6, and now we will see how the evaluation changes.
Okay, that means white lost the game. Yeah.
Okay.
And you see, that means you see it even before it happened. And this is a very good thing for you for training. Because what you can do is, or what I personally find very helpful, is you set the unit to a high playing level, well above your own capabilities, and try to hold the position. And when you see, okay, the evaluation bar is changing a lot, then you know you made a blunder, and then you can look in the main variant, why. And this way, you can very quickly train yourself.
Now we take back this blunder. So.
Okay. All right. Then let's have a look at Shredder. I'm quickly activating Shredder. Okay. So that's done. Shredder has very nice adaptive mode. Adaptive mode in Shredder is changing the strengths of the engine after each game, and which is very special, he's giving you a rating, an ELO rating. So that means we see now Shredder 13.5 has for this machine a rating, a user rating of 1225 ELOs. So if I play against Shredder after the game, he will adopt. If I win, he goes up. If I lose, he goes down. And it is made in a way that even if a game is draw, he can evaluate this. The conditions are that you need to have enough moves. So if you just make one move, he will ignore that. And you need, after the games, need to start a new game. This is the indication for him to write to your profile. So this is like a career mode. Yeah? You can use this mode to check frequently how good your chess improvements when training with the Phoenix is. Very nice mode, very nice engine. I know from many chess runs that they like this mode quite a lot. All right. Now let's take a look to these Comfort-Menue. Comfort-Menue, as I said already, means that you can set or can change profiles very quickly. We have predefined here for each of these commercial engines, that means for Commodore, for Shredder, and for Ajax, we have predefined 6 profiles for all playing strengths. So play and win is for absolute beginners, friendly for beginners, and so on until we see levels for club players or very professional players. And if an engine has a special feature, we have used this here as well. Now we are now inside Shredder, and here you see 2 modes. One is adaptive. This is the mode which I just showed you. Very good to use as a general mode. And we also see a neuronal mode because Shredder has the option to switch on the NNUE function. So that means if you normally play in Shredder adaptive, but you want to see what happens if Shredder is using its NNUE capabilities, you don't need to go to the engine menu and find all these settings, which can be quite complex sometimes, but you simply activate neuronal mode and say load the profile, confirm it, takes a second, and the mode is changed. And then you can see already that is now set to 3 seconds per second. This is all predefined by us, Also the display settings are predefined. So to changing engines, changing playing strengths when you don't want to deal with all the extensive options which you can do with the Phoenix, this is a very easy way for you. If you, for example, have a preferred profile, say we have Shredder friendly, you can also override this profile with your own settings. Yeah. So for example, here now you see the settings which are in this profile, generic settings and the engine settings. Yeah, you can change here and confirm. And let's take a look what we have here. We have also 5 seconds per move. Now imagine you don't like the 5 seconds per move, but prefer 20 minutes per game. Then you can just change the setting and then save it to this profile. So this way you can edit the profiles which are given to your needs, and then you have a very easy and quick access to the combination of settings which you prefer on the Phoenix. All right, then what is essential on the Phoenix? Phoenix is using UCI engines, Universal Chess Interface, and UCI engines in most cases, if yes, it's a dramatic change like changing an ELO level, changing the calculation times per move or per game, these UCI engines require a new game command for the new settings to become active. So this is very essential. So if you change settings during the game, it may well be that they become active only for the next game. So starting a new game on the Phoenix is very easy. Either you just put on the starting position, then it's fully automatic, or you do this via mode, new game. Okay, then let's take a look into the chess settings. Chess settings you can find here, and then we have here, you see 5 buttons. We can change the engine manually, we can change the level, we can change the display settings, the book settings, and the engine settings. Now on engine, we find Commodore, Hierarchs, Shredder, Stockfish. We have here the optional engine pack installed, so that means I also can find Ginkgo. I see Layla and Dragon Tree, the neuronal variant of Commodore. Okay, then on level, I set time controls. Normally on a chess computer, you set the playing strengths by deciding how much time the computer gets to think about his move. So we have here seconds per move. We have tournament levels with increment. We have minutes per game, the rapid games, for example, 50 minutes per game. And we have ply. Ply is a very interesting function because it limits the number of half moves the computer can look ahead. So 2 ply would mean 2 half moves. That means 1 white move, 1 black move. That's a full move, 2 half moves. All right. Then, beside that, we have the display settings. Display settings, you can activate and deactivate the main variant, the information about the opening books. Expert settings, which is far beyond my knowledge. This is something Wolfgang can explain you. The hint, so that means you can decide that the computer should always give you an idea of what he would expect as a move from you. So if you want to cheat a little bit, this is a good function. And the score, this is the rating bar. Yeah? If you like to play a game without seeing the rating bar, you can switch it off here. All right, book settings for the opening books. First, you can select it. We have the Millennium book is a very, very large book supplied by Hierarchs in this case, with all the most modern variants which are there. So it's the standard. You have also a fun book which is playing much more irregular openings if you want to experiment a little bit, and you have a few opening books playing like Bobby Fischer, Garry Kasparov, Magnus Carlsen, and so on. So openings which are typically played by these famous chess players, you can also activate here. We have then the option to switch the book on or off. We have a random factor. This is important, I think, to switch it on, because the random factor prevents the opening book from giving you only the best move. It brings some brighter variety in your game. You can limit the depth of the opening book. That means maximum 8 moves, maximum 20 moves, and so on. And you have the threshold factor. Threshold means shall he play all book moves, or shall he just play the top 25%? Yeah. So this gives you then, this option, for example, would give you better moves on the opening, but less variation. Okay. Then we have the engine settings. The engine settings is, here it's getting a little bit more complex, so this is for all those people who really want to try and experiment with the engines. You find everything what the engines can do here. In the basics, you have the ELO limitation. That means you can, in the case of Shredder, here say, okay, I want to play him at 1100 ELOs, or I want to play him at 1600. You can make the ELO limit off. That would mean full playing strength, or in case of Shredder, you can set it to adaptive. This is similar as this is the adaptive mode, which I showed you on the profile, but of course it's much easier to activate this via the profile. You can see the setting for the hash tables, how big the hash tables can be. You can set the threads, that means how many cores of the processor the engine can use for calculation. In standard, this is set to 1 thread. This is in most cases fully sufficient, and it keeps the processor cool, which means that the fan inside the unit mostly stays off and you have a very quiet playing experience. But if you want full calculation speed, you can also add a second thread to this. You have the ponder option. Pondering means that the chess computer thinks about his move also when it's your turn to move. Yeah, when you, for example, have a level where you say, okay, the chess computer can think 1 second for his move, and you switch ponder on, then he will calculate all the time also when you think. So it behaves much more like a human then, but it makes it also stronger. You have the speed limiter here. The speed limiter is a very interesting function because it allows you to limit the calculation speed of the processor for the engine. And this can have a huge influence on the playing strength. So I think Wolfgang wants to explain a little bit why this is a useful feature.
As I explained this, I say some words to this topic. Speed limiter, you can set minimum 1%. That means the speed is slowed down to 1%. This setting, we have about an ELO strength from 1400 points. If you select only 1 second, please respect the engines are very strong today. And if you rise up the thinking time to 5 seconds per move, you are about 2000 ELO points. That is a much difference to 1 second. But it is a nice feature to reduce the strength of the machine. Another possibility for weaker players, for hobby players, is then what we will see later, the usage of the retro emulations, classic chess programs which are integrated here, but that's a separate topic. What is additional to say to the speed limiter? We have a natural play. The machine plays its best moves as it can calculate. There is no artificial weakness. Second best moves, as you can see in ELO levels, where the machine tries to adapt down his level, and that sometimes you, as user, you have a feeling for a weak move. For example, you are under pressure, you have castled, and then the computer has all his pieces against your king, and you're only waiting until you're mated. Then you see a move a7, a6 at the other end of the board, which does nothing to attach to your king. You see that you have
you got a gift.
You got a gift. You got a gift. You got a gift. And the engine has a problem. If it is not clear what is the second best move or the third best move, and it is on a low level, then he must sometimes play very unnatural weak moves, as I explained here in this example.
Yeah, with the speed limiter that won't happen because you can set the engine to a much higher level and then you would not do such stupid moves, and while going down the calculation speed you limit him on a natural way.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a cool function which you can really try, because I think most of us are not playing on 2,500, 3,000 ELO. But no worries, the Phoenix gives you all the options. Okay, thank you, Wolfgang. So.